Welcome to another episode of Behind the Dreamers. I'm Jennifer Loading, and we are talking to the achievers, the creators, the magic makers, and the dreamers. These are our friends. These are your friends, and they are living the extraordinary. So my guest today says that he fell into writing after his traumatic experience of being arrested and detained in Beijing for 14 days. He now coaches aspiring authors to turn their dreams into reality. And so we're going to be talking to him in just a few minutes. But before I do that, I do need to do a quick shout out to our sponsors. So today's episode is brought to you by Walt Mills Photography. If you are a creator needing post-production, consultation, or promotion, Walt is your guy. Whether short films, YouTube films, I can't talk today, photography work, or a new headshot, he can help you find a solution to meet your needs. To learn more about Walt and his work, you want to go to photosbywalt.com. We also want to give a shout out to our friend Chris Clow of Upbeat Media Production. If you are in need of turnkey special event, Clow is your go-to. To learn more about him and his work, you want to go to upbeatmediapro.com. All right, Chancellor, I couldn't get that out today for some reason. I don't know what was going on with that.
It's all good.
Sometimes I just get a little tongue twisted or tongue tied, right?
It's
all right,
good.
so yeah, my guest today, Chancellor Jackson, is the author of 14 Days in Beijing, an unforgettable tale of his experience locked up abroad in China. He also wrote You Love and You Learn and Real Love Never Dies, a romantic drama about a man's journey of gaining emotional intelligence. He's ranked #1 bestseller on Amazon over 15 times since releasing his book. So we are so excited to have him here today. Chancellor, welcome to the show.
Hey, man, blessings and balance to you, Jen. Blessings and balance to everyone that's tuning in. Big shout out to those people. Y'all the real MVPs. So shout out to all the viewers out there and the listeners, for real.
Awesome. Well, I think I just was ready to get you on today. So we just could have just forgot all that intro and just been like, hey, let's just get Chancellor on here. Let's just start talking, right? Apparently, because I'm stumbling over my words today. It happens every once in a while. But I'm excited to have you here today. And I kind of want to open this up a little bit because you wrote this book, 14 Days in Beijing, correct? Tell us a little bit about this story, like what this book is about, this inspiration behind it.
Yeah, so pretty much it's just telling y'all about my experience, just getting arrested in China and just how that whole process, you know what I'm saying, worked out for me. And then, of course, how it works in general. And you have no clue what's going to happen. You just been arrested inside of your apartment, and now you just following orders. You know what I'm saying? Nothing is being explained to you, nor are you asking any questions because, you know what I'm saying, we've been told don't talk to the police. You know what I'm saying? Keep your mouth closed. So you have no clue how long you're going to be in this predicament. Nobody knows you're in this predicament. And you're left to just fend for yourself, honestly. You know what I'm saying? To make sense out of it with, you know what I'm saying, the resources that are available, and it isn't many. So it's really just relying on faith, for real. Knowing that you're going to be good when it's all said and done. But just still, you have no clue how this thing's going to play out. But, hey, just sit tight, and you'll find out shortly, for sure. So once I was released from Beijing Jail 6, and I was immediately deported from the country, I want to say it was definitely about 2-3 months. Me being back, of course, just getting adjusted and just trying to figure out what's going to be my next steps moving forward. I was presented the idea to write the book from one of my friends that I grew up with. And he was a published author before we graduated high school in 2014. He was like, hey, bro, you should write a book about the experience. I was like, that's a great ass idea. I don't even know where to start. You know what I'm saying? And he took it even further, took my phone, went to my notes section, left me a 5-layer outline, and I started filling it in. And with me doing that, I caught a flow for how I wanted to tell the story. So I moved it from the notes on my phone to a Google Doc so I could finish typing it up. And 4 months later, the story was written. Additional 6 months to get it ready for publishing. And so I got locked up on April 4th, 2019, the anniversary date, April 4th, 2020. Exactly 1 year later, I released the very first version of 14 Days in Beijing. I was ranked the #1 new bestseller in 3 different genres. It was crazy. So just after that, just keeping the momentum going, marketing it, and steady releasing the book, because I originally released it as a series of short stories. So it was a 5-book series of short stories. Okay. So that definitely kept the momentum going all throughout 2020, and then 2021 slapped all 5 parts together as one book, and then trapped it out. You know what I'm saying? So that that's one complete novel. So I really just trapped it out for real. And then, of course, you know what I'm saying, worked on the audio book and rolling that out as well, doing, you know what I'm saying, the same way. And then, of course, falling into the romance field, you know what I'm saying, writing those 2 novels. And the inspiration from those, it was a number of different inspirations, and one of the key inspirations was a lot of women that was reading 14 Days in Beijing. You know what I'm saying? It was like, okay, you talk about this girlfriend of yours all throughout, you know what I'm saying, 14 days, but you never actually get to speak to her. And then you released, and that, you know what I'm saying, you get on the plane, that's the end of the book. So what happened with y'all? What's the tea on that? How'd that play out?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that was one of the inspirations that inspired the romance saga. And the romance saga it did all right. You know what I'm saying? I ain't hit number 1. I got down to number 8 for sure. I'm not content with that. So, but a lot of people are like, oh man, that's great. Shit. To you.
You're like, no, we need to get up there.
Yeah, to you. Your first one, you go out, you hit that thing at the park.
Right.
Hey, it didn't set the tone. So, but it was straight, you know what I'm saying? I didn't expect to dabble in romance at all. You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah,
it was still a vibe to tap into that field. And now just, you know what I'm saying, people are seeing what I've done and the success I've had. Now they just, you know what I'm saying, it's a lot of people that I grew up with or that I meet, you know what I'm saying, you know what I'm saying, later I met later on in the journey that have had aspirations to be an author since they was a child. You know what I'm saying? And now they see me doing it and I make it look easy. So it's like, hey man, I can walk y'all through this process for real, for real. It's really quite simple. You know what I'm saying? It's going to take work for sure, steps to it, but it ain't like it's this esoteric, godlike ability that only the special among us will ever be able to, you know what I'm saying, experience or, you know what I'm saying, get to accomplish. Like, nah, man, the game has changed with self-publishing. You know what I'm saying? Anybody can do this. You know what I'm saying? It's internet in general. The internet has empowered everybody. You know what I'm saying? And it's like the gold rush back in the day when everybody was migrating west to get in on the gold. That's what this internet is. You know what I'm saying? We're living in that age. You know what I'm saying? The internet has empowered everybody. Shit can go as far as you want to take it and be as big as you want to make it. And that's solely dependent upon you.
Yeah.
So,
good stuff. Well, I want to go back because I mean, you said so many things there. I'm like in my brain, I'm like processing all the little pieces that you were talking about, like talking about the writing. And I think for you, and you could correct me if I'm wrong, that you had a purpose now. You had something to write about. Once you got that outline, you had something. Now you had a story. You're like, I got something to do here to tell this story, right? And so I think when you find that, when you were making that reference, how people are looking at you and saying, well, you made this easy and to show that you did this. I feel like everything, what's the word? They say things are simple, but they're not easy, right? Like the plan is there. It's simple to do, but it's not always easy to do, right? Like you have to have sometimes that why and that purpose and that passion to fuel it, you know? And so I think that that's kind of where you were coming from and from what I'm hearing from you. But I want to commend you on the first part of what you were talking about, the going through the process, having to go through the 14 days in jail for whatever reason that is. I can only imagine being in another country and having to sit through that, another language, another, different culture, completely different, everything. Like you're going through this process of not knowing what's going to happen in the next 5 minutes, like I just can't imagine having to go through that and then come out of that and not having some kind of trauma coming out, but being able to take that and turn that into this work of art. So I want to commend you for that, being able to do that.
For sure. I mean, it's all a part of the journey. You know what I'm saying? I knew embarking on just taking the job, accepting the job in China, I knew this experience is going to, however this thing play out, you know what I'm saying? I know, because I was originally supposed to do a year. That's how long my contract was set, but I only ended up doing 6 months because I got arrested. But I knew beforehand, I'm like, okay, at the end of this year, ain't no telling who I'm going to be, where I'm going to be. But it's going to put me in the direction, or it's going to be a great step forward towards finding or figuring out what it is going to be my next endeavor, my purpose, you know what I'm saying, all of that. Because beforehand, I had no fucking clue what it is I was going to do. I was a former college football player, embodied a student athlete, football player to the T. So when that came to the end, all right, well, damn, what we finna do? What's next?
Right. What's next?
Like, this, damn, who are you? You know what I'm saying? What do you like to do? What are you good at? You know what I'm saying? What's your purpose? Who do you aspire to be? I couldn't answer any of this. So it's like, well, I got some work to do. I got some work to do. I got to start somewhere. And it's just me just applying for jobs. You know what I'm saying? I ain't really have no clue or idea what it is I wanted to do. When I'm job searching, I'm looking over the job descriptions. If I feel like I can do it, I'm just applying for it. I ain't got no experience to back it up, but hey, I'm going to shoot my shot. You know what I'm saying? The worst they can say is no. Right. And I was mainly applying for corporate positions, sales, marketing, management, that whole nine. Did that process for about 8 months. I'm talking about getting flown out, put up in hotels, the whole nine, but could not land a position. And they kept hitting me with the same BS excuse. Oh, you lack the experience, so we're going to go with somebody with a little bit more experience. It was like, yeah, I knew that when I submitted the resume. Right. Yeah, I knew that. That was clear as day. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But for sure, I just knew that everybody that said no was for a reason. There's something better out there for you. Can't give up because we quit now. We'll never be shit. So that's not an option. We might need to reapproach our job searching. You know what I'm saying? That's probably what we need to do because corporate ain't for you, family. Clearly, you've been at this for 8 months and you ain't landed. You done got close, but ain't landed nothing. You know what I'm saying? I ain't been able to seal the deal. So let's take a different approach. What are you good at doing? You good at talking with people, working with people? That sounds like social work. So I just typed in social work on the, you know what I'm saying, search engine. And going through the filters, I noticed a tab I never noticed before, and it said international. I was like, damn, why haven't I thought to look outside the U.S. for opportunities? I'm shooting myself in the foot. Let's see what's cracking on outside the U.S. Going through the list of jobs. Teach English to children in China. That sounds interesting. Read the job description. I feel like I can do that. I apply. First job to tell me yes. So I already knew, all right, first job to tell me yes on the other side of the world, ain't no telling what this journey going to bring when it's all said and done. But I know it's going to put me in the position I need to be in moving forward. And it surely did. I ain't expect it to play out the way it did, but you know what I'm saying? For sure, it took all of that.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing. I feel like sometimes, is I hate to say the word, like, embrace that mess, right? That it has to happen. But I always feel like I don't know if they're even really bad decisions. You know what I mean? I feel like they're decisions that needed to happen to teach something in the moment. Like, right? They're decisions that even if they didn't produce the outcome you wanted, if you're smart enough, you figured out what the lesson is in that. Facts. You know what I'm saying? Facts. And so I always tell people that I'm like, there's really, I hate to say this because I don't want to be like, go do bad choices and everybody go make bad decisions and don't pay the consequence of a bad decision. Right. But what I'm saying is that every decision is either you gain something, like you win, or you're learning something. And John Maxwell, one of the mentors, I'm sure you've heard of him. I love his work. He's a former pastor. He does a lot of leadership stuff. And I learned about him when I was in network marketing, like very early on. And so I think he even has a book, Sometimes You Win, Sometimes You Learn. And he's got it both for adults and then for young children too. And I actually had purchased this book for my son when he was like 12 or 13 and had him read it, because I think it's so important to understand that when we have these things that come into our life that really just, I say, like, derail us, get us off, we feel like on this bad path. We have this choice at this moment to say, what do we do in that situation? Do we let it define us and be the thing that binds us down and never come out? Or do we look at that and go, okay, maybe I needed that in that moment to teach me something, and that's leading me to the next thing that I need to know that's great,
It boils down to perspective, how you choose to look at it. And that's a choice, you know what I'm saying? So it's that simple, for real, for real.
Yeah, perspective's good. I like that you said that too, because you're exactly right. It is all about perspective, right? Because the same thing could happen to two people, and one person could look at that and say something completely different and come out of that and be bitter and sore about the whole situation. Another person can come out and say, I'm going to write 3 books. Hello.
You know what I mean? For sure.
Right? So good on you for like looking at that and saying, I'm going to do something with that whole experience.
Resiliency. For sure. Never let no hard time humble us.
Yes, that's right. So you're working with people, helping people do books, right? Like coaching people on this stuff. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so anybody out there that has an idea or a concept for a story but don't know how to go about putting it on paper, or say you've written a whole book but don't know how to go about publishing, I could walk you through either or process or both of them if need be. I've been working with folks since I released 14 Days back in 2020. I've had one person see the process all the way through, and he released his book last year in October, and it's titled The Fatherless Child by Anthony McKinney. And it's a great, great read. It was ranked the #1 new bestseller in 2 different genres upon his release. And it's pretty much a story about him growing up in rural Mississippi back in the 90s and how he was molested before the age of 10 by kids themselves, pretty much, and how that situation affected him at that young age, you know what I'm saying? And then, of course, everything that transpired after it and, you know what I'm saying, what led him to being who he is today, being a part of the LGBTQ plus community. And it's a great read. Powerful, powerful read. When I was editing, I was like, boy, this give me 14 Day vibes. Like, this is going to go crazy. And it sure enough did. No cap.
Awesome.
So big shout out to him. And man, just got some more people I'm working with. Got people that's really, we on the last stretch. It's like, man, it's solely dependent upon them. You know what I'm saying? How fast these books get done. So it's, you know what I mean? I always do my part. So it's up to them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, and congratulations on helping this, this book get out and all that. That's awesome to see something that you've helped kind of behind the scenes, get to the fruition, come to the finish line. So congratulations on that. And I do agree with you that yes, you can lead them, but they have to take the steps forward. It's the same thing when I coach people too. It's, when I'm working with entrepreneurs to help them, whatever they're trying to do, reach their goals. It's the same thing. I can lead them there and I can kind of guide and, encourage and do all the cheerleading, but they have to take the steps, right? And that's sometimes is the frustrating part because we put all of our heart and soul into trying to help them to go. We see the potential and really want to see them cross that line, but they got to go.
I had one client, he skipped a bunch of steps. Like he just got it on paper. I gave him one set of revisions and then boom, he just uploaded. I'm like, hold on, bro. It's like, hold on, bro. You skipped so many. That was just one set of revisions, bro. We're gonna have to revise this at least. Man,
he's like, forget that. I'm ready to get it out.
I'm like, if you continue, I'm content. You know what I'm saying? It's your book at the end of the day. That's what we pride ourselves in at Corley Publications. We're just here to help you through the process. When it's all said and done, you gonna own your work. So entirely, you're going to be entitled to all your royalties. We ain't got nothing to do with none of that. We just help you, you know what I'm saying, bring it to fruition and, you know what I'm saying, putting it out there. That's all we doing. So, you know what I'm saying?
What would you say, like when you were creating your book? Because I already know what your hardest thing. I would say just your journey getting to where you were with the book. But I want to talk specifically about the book part because we, have people on here that are creators and entrepreneurs and a lot of authors. And I wrote a book myself, so I kind of understand that journey too. What do you feel like was maybe the trickiest part for you in this process? Because obviously you know what you're doing because you're helping other people. So what do you feel like maybe was your trickiest part? Trying to either maybe get this business up or get the book out?
Was get the book out first. That was getting the book out. That was the only end game. Because I'm like, after going through that experience, I'm like, all right, I ain't go through that for no reason. You know what I'm saying? Of course, it's something I need to learn and take away from. But I feel like it was bigger than that. I'm like, it's something I'm supposed to do with this story. I don't know what or how I'm going to do it, but I just know it's something. I'm supposed to do something. And then I was like, hey, bro, you should write a book about it. You know what I'm saying? But it was still just far as this would be a great way for me to give it to the masses. You know what I'm saying? Versus me just sitting here having to tell the story over and over again 1,000,000 times, even though I still do that. But you know what I'm saying? Just having it on just as a product or, you know what I'm saying, on the platform that people can tap in with. I was like, okay, this book thing, that's going to be the way to go. And then once I put it out there and saw, man, the Bentley man just had the feedback from it and it was going crazy. I was like, oh, wow. All right, I got something on my hands for real. So it's like just pushing the book. I'm thinking 14 Days is going to be my only book. You know what I'm saying? I don't see myself writing no more books after this. You know what I'm saying? So it was really just 14 Days and just sharing that story with the world. Everything else just it just fell into place. You know what I'm saying?
Fell into place.
So it just felt for real. You couldn't have told me everything I'm doing right now. Even with 14 Days, you couldn't have told me I would have wrote no book. You know what I'm saying? When I was going to China, you're like, hey, bro, when it's all said and done, you're going to write a book about it? I'm like, what? You crazy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you didn't come, you mean you weren't, when you were a kid, you're like, I'm going to write a book when I grow up, right? Like, no, isn't that funny how life is? Like, you have no idea, like, how these things just sort of come about sometimes, right? Like they just sort of happen, and it's not by accident. I think that the series of events lead up to it, obviously, sure. Right? But it's so funny if you were to skip all the in between and from here to here, you'd be like, how? You would have never saw the how. You would have never known how that was going to get to that place.
No, facts. You know what I'm saying? When I was a kid, crazy? I wanted to be the first black president of the United States. That was my, you know what I'm saying? That's the career I wanted to fulfill. And then Barack Obama came and blew that out the water. So I'm like, well, got to cross that off the list.
Something else.
Yeah. So then it went from playing there. And once I started playing football, of course, I wanted to go to the NFL. So
sure.
I realized the NFL wasn't going to be a thing. I learned that early on in college. So I'm like, I have no clue what it is, what I'm going to do when this football comes to an end, but I'll cross that bridge when I get to it.
Yeah. No, I think it's a cool story. And I had something else I wanted to ask you, and then I totally slipped my mind. I had a good question for you. It'll probably come back to me in a few minutes. So no, I think this is awesome. I think that, I know what I was going to say. It's about the book process, writing the book. And because you mentioned early on telling your story, this is where I wanted to go. It came back to me. Because I know, like, for me, when I wrote my book, it was kind of about my story that I went through between 2012 and like 2017 when I was dealing with this medical condition and kind of what I learned in that process. And I really got so tired of explaining this to people that I'm at the place where I'm like, just read the book. You'll find out everything you need to know about me in the book. You know?
Oh, me.
Then I don't have to explain it when I tell you that, like, I'm going through a medical thing and they're all connected, right? Like they're all connected. And I'm still dealing with this. Just read the book. It's like my business card, my biography. Man. You can get everything you need. So that's what I was going to ask you when you were saying that about how, well, my story is in there. Do you feel like sometimes you're just like, here, just read the book. Just take the book.
When I first released 14 Days, and like, I remember the first podcast interview I did, like, Shawty asked me questions about the book. I'm like, I'm cold. I ain't giving you nothing. Like, y'all gonna have to go read this book. Like, I just put out, man, go read the book. Literally, every question you ask me, I answer it. I answer it, and just read it. But it's like, you know what I'm saying? It's still a field. It's still a challenging field because, man, folks don't read. Folks don't really read like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You got avid readers, you know what I'm saying? But that number in comparison to people that don't read. Yeah.
Well, and it's funny that you say that about reading, because that's like one of the things, like when I'm working with my clients, it's like one of the things that I really emphasize as part of personal development, that if you're not going to take time to read, you need to either listen to some positive podcast or watch some positive stuff. But I'm really a big advocate for reading. One of my guests that I just had on my show sent me a book, and I'm loving it. She was in the Army. She was an intelligence officer, and then she went into education, got her master's degree from Harvard. She was an English teacher. Mm-hmm. And what she did is because when she was teaching English, I think she was teaching ninth graders, and they were, English is one of those subjects, you either like it or you hate it. I hated it, absolutely hated it. She would take stories and she said it started with the book of Mice and Men, and she would take stories that were out of the literature that they were reading, and she would apply it to everyday applicable situations for the kids so that they could understand it. Mm-hmm. And so then the stories started going home with these kids, and they were sharing them over the dinner table. And so she became kind of known for like teaching these life lessons to these kids. And so she wrote a book, and I think it's something like Find Your Mini Pumpkin, Live Your Life with Purpose, or something like that. I've got it in the other room, but she sent me a copy of it. So I'm kind of reading that right now, and it's fun because it's all about life lessons. But I really liked how she took the English literature and used it, to teach lessons. So I won't say I always love to read, but I do love to read, if that makes sense. I know that I need to read because it helps me with my creativity and my ingenuity and all of that stuff. And I'm a big fan of, when I talk to my clients, I'll be like, what are you reading right now? What's in your book? What's in your arsenal of books right now? And it's even on my rapid fire, a lot of times I'll ask, like, what's your favorite book? Because I want to know what people say, because it helps me with my book list.
Thanks. For sure.
So yeah, but you did your book in audio too, right? Like you did an audio version.
Yeah, for
right?
14 days. Yeah, and I'm narrating it, so it's a vibe. You know what I'm saying? That was strictly for them folks that don't like to read. Like, I got you. you have no
got you covered.
You have no excuse to not embark on this 14-day journey with me. Come on.
Yeah, they can sit when they're working out. They can put their headphones in or whatever, their little earbuds in. They can listen to you narrate their story while they're and thinking, man, dude, this guy like lifted out. I need to be working harder. I need to be going.
No cap. Get your popcorn ready. That's all I say. Get your popcorn.
Get your popcorn ready. That's so great. All right. So are we working on any more books? Got anything else coming up other than I know we're coaching and helping people and promoting, but anything else we're working on?
For me personally, I don't know what my next book will be, when it will be. I have no clue. But
okay.
Definitely just work. I'm working with a lot of different people with their books. So this ain't going to be your last time hearing Chancellor K Jackson or Corley Publications or LLC. Not at all. You know what I'm saying? We definitely going to we got our hands dipped in a lot of different stories, different, you know what I'm saying, genres, all of that. So I'm excited to see how, you know what I'm saying, these people's books do in the market. And, you know what I'm saying, of course, see how this success from putting out their content, you know what I'm saying, just fuels them and empowers them in every other facet of life as well. You know what I'm saying? I feel like it's huge to have your name on something and own something, especially from, you know what I'm saying, people, my culture. We don't really own a lot of stuff. You know what I'm saying? We buy a bunch of different products that ain't got our name on it. But as far as having stuff with ours, that's you know what I'm saying, a little far-fetched for, you know what I'm saying, vast majority. So, you know what I'm saying, ownership is important.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, and you're young. You got a long way to go, Chancellor. You got a lot of work to do. So it's a good thing. Okay, one last question I want to ask, and then we'll do a couple fun ones here. What have you learned about yourself in all of this? Just in this short time you've been alive, and you've written these books and had these experiences. What do you feel like you've learned about yourself so far?
Man, I'm a God amongst men. Anything I put my mind to, I will accomplish. I got a great heart. And very selfless, and my purpose is to inspire and encourage everybody, you know what I'm saying, that I encounter, or, you know what I'm saying, they listen to me, watch my, you know what I'm saying, however they see me, you know what I'm saying, that's the purpose, to push them and motivate them, encourage them to take that leap of faith, or, you know what I'm saying, be that voice of reasoning for them, or whatever the case may be. You know what I'm saying? For sure. Each one teach one, iron sharp as iron, like we say in football.
I like it. Good stuff. You gave me the little chills that time. That's one of my favorite questions. You know why? Because a lot of times people don't really like to, when you ask that question, people don't always really like to talk about themselves. You know what I mean? Like that, when it gets like that. And I feel like that question just really gets like to the heart, like, you know, like, what did you really feel like you learned in this journey? You know, so I love that question. But you did good.
Appreciate
you did good stuff. Awesome. Well, Chancellor, I'm excited for you. You got good things going. Like I said, you're young. You got a lot of time to do a lot of great things. So, and I like that you're, you know, all about inspiring and tenacity and perseverance and resiliency. You used that word early on in the interview. So I think those are all powerful words and show a great deal of character of who you are. So awesome stuff. Let's do some fun questions and we'll wrap this thing up, because not that none of this was good, but I want to ask you a few fun ones, because this is kind of my favorite part. All right. So I know I follow you on Instagram, and I know you're kind of healthy and do healthy things like I do. So I want to know what your favorite, like, guilty pleasure food is.
Guilty pleasure food? I don't know. I don't really have like a strict diet. You know what I'm saying? I can eat whatever I want. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I'm good, but
maybe do you have like something that you like? Do you like chocolate?
No, I ain't really,
I get that one a lot. Like, what's your chocolate, ice cream?
Yeah, I ain't really too big into the sweets and stuff like that. At least like when I was a kid, I was a different story, but really living in China changed that, you know what I'm saying? Because they sweets, it ain't the same like here in America.
Right.
Here in America, our sweets gonna kill you. They sweets over there, it don't even taste nothing remotely close to, you know what I'm saying, the products we have here. So, and then the cost for candies and cakes and all of that stuff out there is the same price for some actual food. So I'm like, why would I spend all this money for some candy? I can get a whole meal. That's a no-brainer. Yeah. So the whole 6 months I was out there, I really wasn't even fooling with any of the sweets and nothing like that. So I ain't really too pressed about any of that. You know what I'm saying? I can.
Right. I'm kind of that way too. I when I was young, I liked sweets. But it's funny because I did about, I don't know, like 2017, I did keto for 22 months to reverse a nerve condition and kind of reboot my body. And so I didn't really eat a lot of sweets. And it's funny because even now, like occasionally, like I bought these no sugar Reese's peanut butter cups because I just wanted to have some chocolate in the cabinet. But then I was dealing with some issue. I didn't even touch the bag for like 6 weeks. I finally the other day opened the bag and had one, and I haven't had any more since. I just don't eat a lot of, it's like, I don't feel good even if I eat a lot of junk. And so for me, I just rather eat good, solid food. But I will tell you, I do love, there's this vanilla yogurt here that's low sugar. It's like I don't know, they call it like a keto yogurt, whatever. I love it with granola and fruit. Right. Like that is like my dessert. Like every day, like at 10 o'clock, I eat breakfast and then I go work out and then I come back and I'm like, I need yogurt, granola. And I have it this time around, but I'll make like my own low carb granola. Like I'll make a big batch of it and then I pour that in there. But I actually bought some at the store this time. So, but that's like my junk food.
For sure. Isn't
that funny?
I say after working out, something that's probably crazy or far-fetched like that. I wouldn't even say far-fetched, but just something that's out of the ordinary. I'll take a shot of some liquor for sure.
Yeah.
For
sure.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Very cool. Okay. All right. So when you're not coaching and promoting the book and doing all this good stuff, what's your, let's see, what do you like to do for fun? What's your fun thing?
Working out. Anything.
I knew you were going to say that.
Working out, anything geared towards football.
Yeah.
Hanging out with people, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Writing, editing, I enjoy that, especially if I can get faded while doing it. Oh, yeah, that's really a vibe then. Listen to music, that's one of my favorite things to do. Traveling, for sure.
Awesome.
And going on adventures. Yeah.
All right, and here's my last fun question I want to ask you because you mentioned traveling. Where's like your most, I guess, favorite place, like destination spot or place you've been?
Domestically, I have to say Florida for sure. Just going to school out there, Florida became second home. It made a lot of great, you know what I'm saying, people. I'm still tapped in with to this day. It don't matter what part of Florida I'm in good hands like Allstate. And Florida is just, it's so slow. It's so slow. Yeah. Man, it's a vibe too. The sun, can't beat that weather. You know what I'm saying?
I know.
It's just a vibe. I'm always in Florida. I go to Florida at least. Oh man, at least I say 3 to 4 times a year. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
for sure. I'm always in Florida for sure.
I like Florida. I think like 2008 or 2009, I took my kids and we went to Disney World. And I remember I went with a girlfriend and we rented a house. We were doing like just a fun girls trip with the kids kind of thing. And I just remember going there and I was running quite a bit at the time. And I remember getting there and going out in the morning to go run. And I was like, oh my gosh, it's so freaking humid out here. Cause I grew up in Houston.
Yeah.
I'm in Dallas now, but I grew up in Houston and it's humid there too. I just remember like stepping out first thing in the morning at like 7, 8 in the morning. It was already freaking humid and hot. And I was like, in Dallas, like it's weird here because it's a little drier here. I mean, It's only like 250 miles from Houston, but it's a little drier here. So we don't really get a lot of those super humid days like I would get in Houston. That's why I tell everybody I've had young skin for so long because I just had oily skin all the time. Here it's a little drier, but every once in a while we'll have one of those days and I'll be like, oh, it's a balmy day. It feels like a Houston day today.
Georgia's the same when it comes to humidity. So,
right.
It really wouldn't. Yeah. It's just a little bit hotter in Florida. That's the major difference.
Yeah. Very cool. Very cool. Well, Chancellor, if our audience wants to learn a little bit more about you and maybe pick up a copy of your book, we know they're on Amazon. Do you have anywhere else you want us to send them so they can check you out?
Yeah, for sure, man. The best search engine we have today, Google Chancellor K Jackson. Everything you need will pop up from my social media accounts, my Amazon page, my personal website, every other interview I've done. All of that will pop up. You can get your copies of my book on Amazon on my website. You can listen to the audiobook for 14 days, available on SoundCloud, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Anchor. And all of that can be accessed through my website. Any aspiring authors out there, visit chancellorkjackson.com. You can sign up for a free consultation. We can sit down, discuss whatever, ideas you got, and we feel like we will go fit for each other. Hey, man, we could do business and bring that thing into fruition. No cap. So, yeah, man, y'all just Google me.
Awesome. Google's a great thing, right? Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not. Like, that's what I tell people, they pull my name up. It's like, it's all there, like everything. You can't hide. Like, it's all there, I'm like, sometimes, right? Very cool, Chancellor. Well, I'm excited for you. Thanks so much for coming on here today and being authentic and real and sharing with our audience, and keep doing your thing and keep inspiring. And hopefully we'll see some more good stuff come out of you.
For sure. I want to leave you with this message real quick before we dip up out of here. And the message is from Nipsey Hussle. For those that don't know who Nipsey Hussle was a rolling 60s Crip from South Central Los Angeles, but as a philanthropist, philosopher, serial entrepreneur, well known for his music and his clothing line. And the message is long-winded, running through this life like it was mine. Never settling, but setting every goal high. 1,000 burpees on the path to my own self-destruction or success. But what is a mistake without the lesson? You see, the best teacher in life is your own experience. And none of us know who we are until we fail. They say every person is defined by their reactions to any given situation. Well, who would you want to define you? Someone else or yourself? Whatever you choose to do, homie, give your heart to it. Stay strong.
Awesome. Bam. Mic drop. Good stuff, Chancellor. Thanks for sharing that.
Sure.
It's awesome. Well, we do want to say to our listeners, of course, if you enjoy our show, please be sure you check us out on Facebook, give us a rating on iTunes, go hit that subscribe button on the YouTube so we can continue sharing all these great stories like Chancellor's. That's how we are able to do this. By helping you guys help us out, we can keep sharing stories. And with that, I also want to leave a final parting thought. In order to live the extraordinary, you have to start. And every start begins with a decision. You guys take care, be safe, be kind to one another. We will see you next time.